Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of City Sim Builds. We're back here in Banks County, and things are looking pretty good. We have the town of Dunes, which we worked on last time. We've expanded the city a little bit and added some more residential area on the west, or I guess it's really the south side of town, because I'm thinking up here is north and then down here is south. We also added a little commercial district right here in this cove, and we added a college, which we'll probably expand on at a later point. The other thing that we did was modified our bridge over here. This was definitely a challenge, but it turned out okay. I'm not really happy with this 2-column situation, so I might play around with that off camera, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. The other thing that we did was we added some more facilities at our city services complex over here by this windmill. So we have a wastewater processing center and a post office, and then we have way over here we added a groundwater pumping station. That way we're not just reliant on the water tower over here. In today's episode, I want to start a new community over here, which will eventually be the larger metropolitan area in the region. And the way we're going to go about doing that is we're going to purchase some tiles over here, and we're going to downgrade some roads, and we're going to start the community off as if it were, being started in a historical context. I imagine people came here and they settled along the river, where this is probably the main part of town, maybe even going into here because this would be like a safe harbor. But we're going to lay out some roads and work with the terrain here and see if we can get a decent little community started over here. But before we jump into today's episode, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. That'd be really awesome. And also, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment down below. I'd love to get comments from you all and see what you're thinking in terms of the build, or if you have any naming suggestions. So with that, let's jump into today's episode. All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to come over here and purchase some tiles. So I definitely want these tiles. And I'm going to start with that for right now. I thought about purchasing the tiles in between here, but I'm pretty sure I can come over here and start laying out some of the roads that will then eventually connect up to over here. So I want to take a look at the contours first. It's pretty hilly through here, so we're going to have to get a little creative with some of the roads. So for this, I think I'm going to start off by using some gravel paths and place them in a few key locations, and we'll just kind of make a weird, kind of funky grid over here. Kind of like something you would see in maybe like an older European city, or maybe even, I'm thinking about like the lower part of Manhattan where you have just a lot of different roads, and it's not like a perfect grid where every road is at a 90-degree angle. You're going to have some crazy angles in here, and I think that's totally appropriate. So I think it makes sense to have a road that comes along somewhere in here like that. That way it follows the shore of this little cove over here. And then I think it makes sense also to have maybe something that follows over here as like a river street. Then I think following this general topographic line here, the grade here is 0.2%, I guess on average. I really don't know how the game calculates that, but I think that makes sense. I think having something maybe over here around this area that comes from this way makes sense. And then likely you would have something coming through this little valley here, and we will try and meet up here at a 90-degree angle. Then I think likely we would have another road that comes along this side of the cove and probably comes around this way. But I want to take a look over here. There's probably some sort of road that connects up over here. We'll put that there for now. Again, the whole point here is really just to create the basic building blocks for this area. I am going to purchase this because I do want to have this point here. And then I think it also probably makes sense to have something over here like this. And then there's probably a road that follows the coast here, like that. All right, so I want to take a look at this area right here. Is this a depression in the ground? I think it might be. So we may actually come in and level this area a little bit, because in real life, this would be a pond because everything is flowing to this point here in the center, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to flatten this area out just a little bit. And I think if anything, it makes sense to perhaps, let's grab this elevation over here. Oh, not that. That is definitely not what I meant to do. Whoops. Oh my God, I'm just making this worse. I'm making this worse. All right, so what I meant to do was grab the shift terrain tool, and I wanted to grab like this elevation up here, and then right click from down here, and let's maybe slope back up this way. Something like that. Then I'm gonna increase the brush size here. Maybe not that much, that's a little much. Let's go down to maybe 300. We'll just do a few taps in here to kind of bring some normalcy, some normalcy back to this. But so the whole idea here is I'm trying to make it so that water will channel through here and flow down here into this area. I think that is probably more realistic. And it looks like for the most part it's doing that. Yeah, you would have water come down here, hit this point, and come down this way. Same thing from over here. And we have a hill here and a hill here. So yeah, this is all looking much, much better to me. There's a slight depression here, but I think I'm not gonna worry about that. And same thing there. We'll just let that roll. We'll imagine in the future that we have some sort of pumping station through here that can, pump the water out. All right, so I want to come over here and take a look at the terrain again. I'm thinking we might have some sort of road over here that connects like that, and this might be an important area right here. We have this like bluff where the river kind of meets this little cove, and the river continues on to the ocean. There's probably a road that would go somewhere in here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna back this out a little bit, and that's temporary. Now I want to start connecting some of these periphery roads together. And just for the sake of interest, I'm going to draw a road in over here. I think we'll carry this one down to somewhere in here. Then this one could just meet up with this main road over here. I do want to do a little bit of terrain work right in here. Let's decrease this. We'll grab this elevation, we'll flatten this out just a little bit. I feel like this is almost begging to be some sort of like 5 points area. So I think I am going to get rid of this road here and then draw something similar that comes from over here to maybe about there. And when in doubt, we'll just put a roundabout. Nice. All right. That is starting to look like things are taking shape. I do want to get this road connected up over here. But before I do that, I do want to downgrade this freeway through here. Now that we have it available, I'm gonna make a 2-lane highway for one of these segments, and we'll do it for, let's see, I think we did it for the outside highway section over here near the industrial park. So we'll do it for the same side over here. So we'll start about here. We'll carry it back that way. And I wonder, do we have enough tiles to just do this whole thing? That would make things a little bit easier. Let's take a look. I think we do. All right, I'm gonna purchase these 4 tiles. Oh, no. Actually, we are missing this segment. Okay. I'm gonna skip this for now, and then we'll come back to that. All right, so we have our 2-lane segment starting about here. And then I think I might have gone a little bit too far on this side. We'll replace this, have it go that way. And then we'll feed the road back over here like that. So let's get rid of this section to about there. Then we'll just use our simple curve mode tool and create a temporary connection like that. And I think I'm actually gonna just downgrade this to a 1-lane road. Man, that is janky. That is janky. All right, I've got to fix that. Let's try that again. All right, much better. Even though this is only temporary, it's still makes me a little happy, I guess. So I just want it to look kind of decent. I can't see what is going on with all these numbers. Like, go away. It's just like too much information sometimes. All right, sweet. That's looking good. I think we'll keep this as our main connection for now, but it's likely that we're gonna have another one over here. And I do want to make sure that people are able to come and go from this area. So we have cars coming down this way. There's a weird section here. We can fix that. And I think I'll take the route choice model in the game for that to take effect. But that's looking pretty good. I'll just leave that for now. So I do want to come back over here and plot out a few more streets. And maybe, nah, it's gonna give us invalid shape. I don't think that's gonna work. If we start on the edge, can we come out this way? We can. All right, let's just do that. I think that looks good. And I'm getting kind of crazy with this here. Do I want to come all the way over this way? I think I'll stop this one here, and then we can connect this road over here. All right, so in this area, I'm imagining there's some smaller block sizes, so I'm gonna just start creating some block sizes that are maybe, what is this? Can't see how many units this is. 7 units? Yeah, that sounds reasonable. And that's actually kind of like the default for the game. So I'm just putting some little markers here to kind of get an idea. I guess 6.95 is close enough to 7. I think this is looking pretty cool. Yeah, I like the irregularity here. It looks pretty snazzy, in my opinion. We'll have to see how it functions. But so I'm leaving some gaps here on purpose because I'm trying to prevent too much access along some of the main roads. We'll kind of augment that with some pedestrian paths. And for this one, I'm gonna go out 14 and yeah, just see if we can get some variance in some of the block sizes. All right, I think this is looking pretty good for the core of the city. I do want to add this road in right here. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else I want to make any changes. I might, yeah, I'm gonna add a few more roads in here. So we can have some grids that look, you know, pretty typical through here. The 7x7 grids, these smaller block sizes, which have the benefit of being very walkable. You don't have to walk a long distance to get from one grid to the other. I mean, you don't have to walk a long distance to get from one point to the other. I think I am actually going to connect this up now that I'm thinking about it. But as we get away from it, I'm going to, like this area, which will be like the main part of town, like the downtown area, we'll break up the grid a little bit more. Yeah, it's hard to see what I'm doing in here. So there you go. That's the connection I was looking for. I'm gonna give a little bit of space around this central roundabout, and hopefully we can make that bigger as time goes on. All right, so I do want to place some commercial through here because this will definitely be a heavy commercial area. So we have some of these more uniform blocks. I think it's fine to go and put commercial in, using the fill button. And we have some row houses that we can put in here. I think I'm going to put some over in this general area. Let's create a few alleyways for these. I kind of just want something up the middle here. Actually, let's go this way. Oh, and I see we definitely need water, power, and sewer. So we'll take care of that here in a sec. And I think for this, I am going to have to purchase these tiles. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and temporarily for now, I'm going to create like a rural power line that follows the road here. We'll just have to skirt around that for the time being. We'll follow the highway. All right, so we should have power taken care of. Now we need to do water and sewer. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, I have to go around this tile. I don't have any more tiles to purchase, so we'll just temporarily add something like that for the time being, and we'll follow this road. And we'll do the same thing here. Just kind of skip that tile for the time being. And we'll link up there, and I think things should be okay now. Excellent. I'm going to speed up things, and we'll see how, the area kind of fills in over here. So our single family residential is pretty high right now. I think what we'll do is we'll start some single family residential over here on the outside of town. In the future, I'm going to imagine we're going to do some redevelopment, and this is going to be a much denser neighborhood, and we'll have densities taper off as we come this way and out this way as well. So for the time being, let's be a little frugal, and we'll continue using our dirt or gravel roads rather. I think we can bring this down to here. I think that looks good. And while we're here, I'm going to upgrade some of these roads to be actual roads as opposed to gravel streets. Like, I think we can safely do the outside here. Oh, and I did asymmetric. That is not what I meant to do. All right, we'll go back and change that. And then we'll bring this around this way. All right, we got some invalid shape stuff going on. So I think for the time being, I'm gonna remove these 2 lanes just so I can get the roads in here. Yeah, and I didn't like that, so I'm gonna have to take a look at these segments one by one. So we have overlapping items. We'll remove that for a second. And now let's see if we can go back and place this. Yeah, and it works just fine. So bizarre, so bizarre. I don't know why it does that. But anyway, let's fix these 2 road connections here. Slight jog in the road there, but I think that's fine. Hopefully in the future we can make this roundabout bigger when we get to unlock some of these different roundabouts. All right, office is in demand, so maybe this will be our little office district. So we'll add in a few offices over here, and then we'll get back to placing some residential. And I'll add a bit more commercial over here in the core area as well. All right, so I want to take a look at the area from above, and that's pretty much accomplishing the goal of like what I wanted to have happen here, with just some like very unique grids that occur. Something that's a little bit less typical. I think that is looking pretty good. So let's create a few neighborhoods over here, and these I think I am going to make into grids, and it's relatively flat through here. So if we take a look at the slope going down this way, So it's about 4%, and I think that is okay. I think that's okay to have lots like that, especially like in an older part of the city here, like this. You definitely have some really intense grades sometimes when you're, basically putting out a grid for a neighborhood. So I think for the time being, what if we let's try use the grid tool. I'm trying to think how I want this to tie in. Yeah, and I think that's a little bit too far out. Let's maybe have the grid start somewhere in here. Okay, cool. And what did we land on here in terms of grid size? Did not mean to do that. We'll just come back and add this road in, then we'll upgrade these. And you all know I'm, by this point, a fan of alleys, so I do want to add some alleys in here. And I think I am actually going to leave these connections like that. That way it limits access along the main minor arterial or collector. Not really sure what type of road this is yet. And we may even do that with these two streets right here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And this is kind of something you would see, or not kind of, I mean, you do see this in certain, I guess you would say it's probably more suburban environments, but they're like older suburban environments where you probably had access roads that connected up and some other collectors and local streets that connected up. But then after the fact, you came in and you stubbed them off and you prevent people from being able to truly access this via a vehicle. But if you're a bicyclist or a pedestrian, you can access it just fine. So it basically turns this into a cul-de-sac. And I think that's fine for these areas, because I do want to emphasize movement along here and hopefully later on transit and bicycling whenever the game gets bicycling. So that'd be cool if the game got, bicycling. But yeah, I'm just gonna put in some single family uses through here. And this is meant to be very uniform. Sorry, and I think I said a 3 block depth, but really this is 4. So I did not look at that correctly. So I do want to come back over here and place some row houses in these areas that are closer to downtown. So we'll go for let's go for some, we'll do North American. Oh, cool. We got a rock musician mansion. Sweet. So maybe we'll think about placing that here in a second. Oh, and I'm not liking what I'm doing here. Let's reorient this. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna come back in a few of these areas, see if I can play around with some of the zoning, see if I can get it to work the way I want it to work, or kind of how I'm envisioning it. Like right here, I kind of want to play around and see if I can get it to be more along, this area. Like, let's take a look actually. So if we build a path that comes through here, that's kind of getting at what I'm thinking about. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. If we remove that path, what does it do to our zoning? Okay, so not exactly what I want, but I think that will be good enough. And I messed up there. There we go. So I think as we get closer to the downtown area, we can add in some of this North American mixed-use housing. And these are going to be some taller buildings, larger buildings, and that's perfectly fine. And along this street, and while we're here, we'll put a little dollop of commercial right there. And I think an alley would be good through here. Something like that. And instead of an alley through here, I might do actually a pavement path. So if we bring this here, bring this back behind here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It looks good. I like that. Maybe we let this be like a park area. I think that would be a good spot for a park. Small park. Will it fit? Yes, it will fit. Excellent. Small playground. Perfect. And then what we can do is maybe we can place one of our signature buildings over here. So this is what, the Rock Musician Mansion. Where would that person live? I don't know. If you have any ideas about where to put this, leave that down in the comments. And I'll refrain from doing that. And oh my God, we have a fire. We have lots of fires. What in the world? This whole forest is like burnt down. That is insane. Yeah, so I'm good with this height of density here. I think that's fine. A few things we do need are definitely some fire coverage. So let's place a firehouse somewhere over here. And I'm thinking that this might be a good spot over along Spruce Street. And just like that, we have Boomtown. Excellent. So we have $1,400,000 and we get 6 progression points, and then we get 8 tile points. And that is fantastic. I like that. And with that, I think I am going to go ahead and satisfy my completionist nature and buy these 2 tiles. And we're going to reserve the other 6 tiles for later down the road. We'll kind of bank that for right now. This neighborhood all over here by itself kind of looks a little weird, but we're gonna, you know, address this area. But it does look very uniform. I mean, mainly because, you know, the assets in here are pretty copy and paste. Hopefully the game gets some updates with their assets here soon. But, you know, I think this looks reasonable with the terrain. I think it adds some unique character here with the streets and the lots. Everything's not flat all the time, and you have to kind of work around that. Like where I live, like there are lots that are kind of like this. Well, I don't know about like that. Well, actually, yeah, probably. They probably have a higher hedge here, you know, that's, you know, blocking the view of the patio and whatnot, and the shed, you know, for privacy and stuff. But anyway, I think this is pretty reasonable. And man, that is a massive fire over there. That is ridiculous. Okay. Oh my God. All right, and that's really basically what I wanted to accomplish today. I just wanted to get the bones down for this area. In the next episode, what I'm hoping to do is fill in some of these areas to tie in this newer, let's say this was built in like maybe like the 1950s or 1940s. This sort of like more suburban type area, I guess, and connect it back over here to the core downtown. I am looking forward to when we get more density options later down the road, because I do want to change the commercial and office zoning through here. So we'll do a little bit of redevelopment. But yeah, the other thing I want to do is add a few more row houses through here and basically fill out the rest of the main part of town through this area. And then the next episode, we'll start things off by downgrading this highway so it makes more sense to me. You know, having an interstate right off the bat in the game, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, it looks kind of weird right now, but hopefully as time goes on, this is going to fill in, and we'll do some detailing and with our landscaping and whatnot. And I think things will look pretty good here. But yeah, well, if you're enjoying things so far, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment down below. And if you think there's something I should do different, or if you have any feedback, leave a comment for that as well. And don't forget to like the video as well. That also helps me out a lot. But I hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you back here in Banks County in the next episode. All right, bye.